The box is open! I know, it's not an unboxing video, we're going to start doing reviews. So I hope you guys are excited, because this is the first one. Okay guys, welcome to the channel. We're really lucky again today. You may recognise this guy, Mr. Too Tall. We've done maybe two or three videos?
Two or three early, 6mm.
Early on the channel, so go back. We'll try and put the links in the description so that everyone can see your
back again.
face. He's back. But anyway, to give you some basis for us, if you've watched the channel, you probably know me. I played about 7 years ago, used to play really regularly, didn't play for a long time. Pandemic hit, I was like, I'm getting back into Airsoft, best pandemic sport ever. So I've been really intensely buying mystery boxes and doing stuff for the last 18 months. Sean never played Airsoft, but actually paintball and stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Paintball and stuff when you're a kid. Once I got back into it, he's got a couple of mystery boxes and we went and played a lot.
I probably play once a month.
Once a month, yeah, for the last year, pretty much. So, so Sean's got like a little bit less experience just in Airsoft. So actually what we thought would be awesome with this video is not just give you the, I play Airsoft a lot, I know the stats, this is what I think of a review, but actually getting like a first impressions, first look.
Sort of a newbie.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get into Airsoft, listen to what this guy's got to say, because it's going to be his initial impressions based on that. So, first one that we're going to review, you may be able to see from the box, and it's a good box.
Nice box, nice branding.
Nice
cool
branding.
Picture.
Arcturus. I never actually have heard of these guys before. I think this is kind of one of their lines. But I hadn't heard about them before. I actually got this in a mystery box. I won this in a mystery box from Airsoft GI. And actually it was one of those mystery boxes, like I've got a load recently from e-bike and I just get the base box. Like it's always more value than what I pay, but the base box is always the base box. It's not great. When I opened this, I was like, okay, I've heard some great things. So we're gonna open this up, we'll talk you through it, but we're gonna kind of mention some of the points that I think you should be aware of before. Anyway guys, so which way does this go? Let's open it this way. So as we said, branding's pretty cool, got this kind of clean look on it. Packaging's actually solid.
Yeah, dedicated to enthusiasts. I mean, it feels professional.
Yeah, it's got...
Feels like it's worth something.
Little things here saying it's got a performance air seal kit, pre-installed Hopup unit, well I hope it's got that, PCG grade in precision inner barrel. So apparently it's got like a tight bore nozzle with O-ring from the CNC. So it sounds like it's got like a lot of CNC metal in it. Very nice. One thing I love is it says Deans on the front. Now you may not be aware, Sean, it's too tall, but the general Airsoft community are like, why haven't all of the manufacturers gone to Deans connectors for the batteries? Because they still use
quick disconnect.
And it's like actually putting them together, it's just a better seal. Like it's those Tamiya ones, like trying to get the click. Anyway, so everyone thinks that they should be going to that. So if these guys are doing Deans, like I'm pretty happy that that's a good move. Solid. So we actually opened this earlier just to kind of have a quick look. So it's not really like a first impressions unboxing. But when we opened this, I think this was the first thing we saw.
Yeah. So again, we got the AEG AK02 version. And all I could glean from the difference of an 01 to 02 is this one's longer. The longer barrel. So
it's almost, that's the model name for this one specifically is the
AK02-U.
-U. So we think the 02 means that it's a longer barrel length. The U we think is this specific model. So one bad side I would already say is it's pretty confusing trying to work out which Arcturus AK you're like actually talking about. And I think they said there's 7 different models. So they're all kind of modern style, metal kind of bodied, and they're more of your modern style AK. Obviously you've not got any wood, you've got adjustable stock, different rail. But one thing I would say, like picking this thing up, it's heavy. I think from some of the reviews, I'll close this for now just so we can have a look at it. Some of the reviews that we've read have said that it's quite realistic AK weight. I've never picked up a real AK, so I can't tell you if that's real or not. But I think it feels heavy.
Feels heavy.
But not like
I think this is steel.
heavy. Yeah.
This is probably
I think the rails are aluminium, yeah, exactly, or aluminum, I should say. But I would say, guys, one
solid.
Yeah, solid is the big thing. I think some of these, especially AKs, it's almost like because there's so many seams and like actual bits where it's put together, you get a little bit of that wiggle or the kind of rattles in the actual gun. This thing, like, it's solid. Like, there's no shake, there's no rattle, there's no actual like standard hop-up adjustments in there. Sorry, this has never been fired, but I shouldn't put that in your face.
Muzzle safety.
Muzzle safety is very important. But I would say, yeah, like, initial thoughts on this thing when you pull it out, solid.
Solid. Very nice little brand in here.
So the other thing, guys, is if you want an AK, I mean, AKs are awesome, but obviously when you're looking at a traditional AK, would not necessarily that customizable. With this, you've actually got like a M4 style crane stock on it, which I know some people are like, mixing an M4 with an AK, like worst thing you could possibly do. But obviously having the adjustability, I think, is an advantage. Obviously having a Picatinny rail means you don't have to run these AK sights if you don't want to. You could actually put a red dot onto it. And m-lok. I don't know if you guys are, let me know in the comments below. Are you a fan of m-lok? Because I love m-lok. I think m-lok is so much lighter, so much more compatible. You can actually, like usable. You can move your actual attachments a lot of other places. Picatinny's great, but it's old. It's bulky, and so like I think having this option on an AK, if you're looking at just kind of gameplay, obviously not realistic AKs, but actually like playing and playing a good game, like I think it's kind of awesome. So that probably, I mean, other things that actually we've noticed is fire selector. I'm not the biggest fan generally of AK fire selectors because this thing's cool, but like after time of that changing semi full auto, this generally I find on ones I've used previously gets a bit loose. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, oh great, it's in safe.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the worst design thing because safe being at the top, you'd almost want safe at the bottom. Mm. So if it did fall, then it would be at safe. Because otherwise you're running around and suddenly this goes on to full auto.
Yeah.
So generally I don't like that, guys. But what I also would say is this thing's got an actual like almost like a finger selector here, so you don't have to, every time you're selecting, pull your hand off the trigger. You can actually just kind of select it with this selector as well.
Yeah.
Which is very tight, but you have the option.
Yeah, small thing though. I mean, you're not moving this much.
Okay, so that I think is a cool exterior feature. Other cool things as well, obviously you've got the sling adapter. You've got another one which is here in the rail. So actually if you're wanting to run a sling, like it's already there, you're not having to attach sling loops, etc. This is actually really cool, I think, as well, Tutor, is that they've got a specific actual serial number on the rifle. So it's not like, oh, it's just one of those brand rifles. This is a specific serial number specific to this rifle. So you know that this is one of one, you know, you can identify it, which actually I think is pretty cool.
Well, okay, so normally I have an M4, I'm not sure what brand it works well. So my battery goes
VFC
in here.
Avalon is what you've got, which is awesome, great guns, and a lot of the M4 style AEGs will come with this kind of stuff.
You would pop this off, you would stick the battery in, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, so guys, I mean, they've put a crane stock on it, and the crane stock has got a battery compartment, as you can see here. It's got lots of space for a nunchuck battery, for an 11-1, whatever you is, but there's no wire. Like, there is no wire, so you can't put the battery into the rear, and instead of doing rear wiring, they've done it like a standard AK, and they've put it under the dust cover here.
And so I mean, you can see there's not a lot of room in here, and I think that's the biggest gripe we've seen people on Reddit
I've had so far,
and just general comments is it's tough to fit a battery in this.
And
that's annoying to me. You know, you want to play and you're screwing around before a match, just trying to get your battery in. Like,
one thing I would say batteries wise, this is awesome. As we said, Dean's connector. This is also a really solid Dean's. Like, it's really, like, you know, you get the kind of small little ones. You can grab this, you can push it in. It's a good Dean's connector. And it's solid. And actually what I've realized, they put like this little bit of covering on here. So if you're putting this on and this gets caught, you're not cutting the wire. Again, thought out really well, big fan of that. But like, it just really, like, you have so much space for a battery here.
Yeah.
This is a big connector, and then you're trying to squeeze a battery along here, get that in.
Yeah.
And also, like, I just hate getting dust covers onto AKs. I mean, like, trying to line this up, work out how this is, push this thing in, horrible.
Yeah, Badger was trying earlier, and we can film it, but it takes time.
It takes time. One thing I would say is if you have a tech or you have a guy and you're going to buy this as a base gun and do some work on it, which you may not want to do because obviously you need to know someone that you trust to do that.
I've already given up.
You could try and have them rear wire it. So run this wire through the stock and then obviously use that. I don't know how possible that is, so don't buy it and then say, Signal Badger, why did you tell me to buy this gun, rewire it, and I can't do it? I'm not taking blame for that. The one thing that we have potentially looked at is you can run an 11.1 on this because it's got a MOSFET, it's got a reinforced gearbox, but I don't think you can fit an 11.1. So if you want an 11.1 for the rate of fire to be faster, you may not be able to fit it in here.
Or it's going to be real tight.
Yeah. So you may have to run a 7.4 volt LiPo, and in which case, you know, it's going to fire, and it's going to fire hopefully well in semi-auto, and we're going to find out when we do the firing test, which you guys need to wait for, so keep watching. But I like using 11.1s generally, and if I can't put an 11.1 in here, it just means the performance isn't going to be what it could be.
Let's see what else is in this box.
Okay, so
finger.
Yeah, so guys, this is actually one other thing which I think is really good with this. Obviously, with a lot of airsoft retailers, they're trying to make a profit. Obviously, they're selling a product to you, so they're not going to throw in a lot of extras which cost them money, you know, extra weight. This is wired to Deans. Again, amazing, but they haven't just thought, oh, well, everyone should be running Deans. They've also included a Deans to Tamiya adapter, so that can click in and then you can run a Tamiya if you want to. Mm-hmm. However, talk about making the problem worse. I mean, you're just taking away more space that you would have in your battery. Still, thought it out, really good, I like that. They've given you 2 size Allen keys, so if you're wanting to adjust things, again, thought it out. Everyone's probably got Allen keys at home, but
yeah, nice to have.
Yeah, nice to have. And then this is actually an m-lok. I think it's almost like a trigger guard stop. So if you wanted to run it underneath on the rear rail here, you've almost got like a little grip. Rear rail, the bottom rail. Then you've kind of got a small grip. Again, unneeded, kind of just one of those things that they've thought out, and I just appreciate it. I think if you're building a product, like when someone's opening it up and like thinking about the things they need in it, I just like it when retailers do that. I think it's a good thing.
Sweatband.
Sweatband. Fantastic.
Just in case. Patch.
Patch. It's a cool patch.
Cool patch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what is it?
No, it's not a patch. I think
like
it's
a cup holder? Or a coaster.
Coaster.
Yeah.
So it's actually got the exact model.
AK12 AEG.
Look, the rail at the top there is 15 the whole way. And
what do we got? We have an AK02-U.
So that's an AK12, we've got an AK02. So kind of cool again. It's probably just great for them, just having branding everywhere, which says Arcturus on it. Awesome.
2 mags.
2 mags. Again, I think that's another big sell. Like, every single AEG almost that I've bought or got in a mystery box has only ever come with 1 magazine. This comes with 2, and I would say that the amount of people that buy an AEG and only ever need 1 mag is very little. Like if you're going and playing an airsoft game, you need more than 1 mag. And so therefore you're buying extra mags whatever happens. This is actually a high cap.
Yeah.
So that I would expect is probably around 400.
So this one isn't.
That one is not.
So
and again,
you one of each.
Guys, I think that's great. Let me know in the comments, but I would say that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because as well as that, you can test out both magazines and then say, hey, do I want to buy more of the mid cap or the high cap? However, we did also read, and we haven't tested this, but magazines is another thing people have issues with.
Yeah, just being an AK being so popular. Not all AK mags, though, seem to fit this gun.
Yeah. And so, like, I think that is one thing in airsoft. Generally, you find
Yeah.
like M4 mags will fit in an M4.
Yeah.
AK mags will fit in an AK.
Yeah.
It seems only
Yeah.
certain manufacturers' mags are going to work in this.
E-Vike went through it. There's a video on this gun from E-Vike, and,
Yeah.
they tried them out, and they tell you which ones work and don't work.
So yeah, guys, we'll put a link to that down below as well in the comments. So if you're kind of thinking which mags do I buy if you're buying this gun, they'll lay out. I think G&G Armament work. I think CYMA don't count on this, but like it'll tell you kind of which ones are which, and it takes you through some of the different variations of this. They're going to have the same internals, same motor, same gearbox, same everything, but obviously the barrel length, the exterior is going to be different, so you can kind of work out which one you like. One other comment I would make is if they're not going to run battery wires to the rear where you've got battery space, there's no point in having a crane stock.
And then as the final treat, we got like a QC checklist, I guess. It basically just says they shot it before they sent it. They give you some muzzle velocity from 5 shots, and it ranges from 404 FPS to 408.
Yeah.
So it's really, according to them, tight. We'll test that, see if it's the same.
Sorry guys, we just had some technical difficulties. For some reason the camera decided to turn itself off. So we basically would say if you're looking at it, you're buying second hand, make sure it's the newer version. The older version seemed to have a lot more issues, and I think it had like a white box. It just was
Yeah. So the box is different. I don't think it had the QC certification certificate.
No.
It didn't have the Dean's connector. Other than that, I'm not sure what's different. I couldn't figure it out easily, if anyone else knows.
And that's the thing, guys, like if you're really wanting to know the exact specifications of the motor, I know it's a version 3 motor, it's a whatever CNC steel gearbox, but we're not going to open it up. We're not going to open it up, show you what's inside, show you the quality of the build. There are some videos out there that do that, so I would definitely say if you're more of that tech mind, you need to know what's inside, go and watch one of those videos. We'll try and link those below. So right now, guys, we're going to go to the Smart Target and we're going to do some quick testing for you guys so that you don't just see what it looks like, you see what the performance is like. It's not going to be at range, it's going to be fairly close range, so we're going to do rate of fire, trigger response, how much the grouping is at like 20-30 feet, and kind of just how it feels and reacts as we're firing it. So we're going to go and show you guys that now.
Let's go use it.
Again, any specific questions, performance, put them down below and we'll come back to you ASAP. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to do the here, we'll go to semi.
This is semi.
Alright, target ready. This is auto. What do you say? Is that coming up on the screen? Now let's do rate of fire. Okay, so guys, I think this is an awesome gun. It's $310, which I actually kind of think is worth it just for the exterior hardware, the feel of it, you know, the quality of the build. However, if it is going to be your only primary, it's going to be your gun that you use all of the time, I just think practicality-wise, it's not there. If I had $310, I would probably go and buy a CYMA AK, or maybe like a G&G M4 and then put some money into it to upgrade it to make it better. and you're going to have the reliability. You're going to have mags that work all the time. You're going to have a battery that works all the time. When we did the FPS test on this with 3 2s that we were firing it at, it was firing at 298 FPS and pretty consistent, which at 0.2s is 380.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 380 FPS. So sight limits mainly in the US is 400. If you're in the UK or other places, it's 350. So you may want to factor that in. But it's firing good out the box, good grouping, good FPS. So if you really want an AK, you really like these style of AKs, you want good build quality, you want something that's going to perform pretty well and you don't mind spending $300, get it. I'm happy to have it. I wouldn't choose it as my primary. That's my thoughts, guys. Agree or disagree, let me know. But what's actually more interesting is if you were looking to get a gun,
yeah,
what would you think?
So from a newbie perspective, and someone who loved, just as always, you know, love the AK design. I think this is cool. It's modern take. It feels the part. It feels really solid out of the box.
It's got m-lok.
It has m-lok, but honestly, the battery compartment is a total nightmare for me. And I'm sure a bunch of people who have this gun and have used it a bunch and have figured it out, and it's no problem for them because they know exactly how to do it in the batteries. No issue there. But I would just say I don't understand why companies can't at least have a shelving or something that is specific for the battery to slide into, as opposed to just trying to jam it into an open volume of space.
Yeah.
Because you're always nervous that you're going to clip the wire or just mess up a $300 gun. But I mean, it feels good. It looks cool. It looks modern. Comfortable. To me, $300 is expensive, so I would expect a gun as like a newbie. I wouldn't want to be putting a bunch more money into it, so I want it to work right out of the box if I'm going to spend that much money.
Yeah.
And I mean, in our initial tests, it works well. But
would you buy it at $300?
No, I would go M4 instead, just because it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah. So guys, I think probably end result for me, it's going to be a 3 out of 5 Badger rating. It's good. It's cool. I don't think it's not worth the money, but I would say I think it's quite niche, and I think unless you really want it, I'd say there's better options out there. So for me, it's a 3 out of 5 stars. For you, 2 tools rating?
Oh man, I don't have a star system, but yeah.
3?
3. I'll stick with you.
So basically, guys, medium to good. It's a cool gun, but
it looks really nice this way.
It does.
It's a nice showpiece.
I keep looking at it.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. As I said, we really want some feedback. So we've done some shoot testing, we've done some chrono, we've done some first thoughts. If there's anything you think we've missed and you'd like to see in future reviews, let me know. But our plan is to literally go through all of the mystery box wins that I've had over the last 6 months and go through each one of the guns, because there's a lot of you guys out there who are thinking about buying it, maybe not, maybe it's a deal.
A lot of options.
So I got this from Airsoft GI. It was a great mystery box, great gun, 3 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much, guys. See you on the next review. Goodbye.